Blog Talk Radio.
What if the American people woke up and understood that the official reasons for going to war are almost always based on lies and promoted by war propaganda in order to serve special interests? What if we as a nation came to realize that the quest for empire eventually destroys all great nations? What if the American people learned the truth?
The FBI has foiled about 17 plots to kill Americans during the past 10 years. What it will not tell you is that there have been 20 foiled plots, and of them, 3 were interrupted by members of the public. The 17 that were interrupted by the feds were created by the feds. Why do we pay the government to trick us into believing it is keeping us safe? What if a government that manipulated us could be fired? What if a government that lacked the true and knowing consent of the governed could be dismissed? What if it were possible to have a real game changer? What if we need...
This is our land. These are our people. The workers, the strivers, the builders. These are our people. Who are they? They are the dark armies. The dark murdering armies whose only honor 1876.
All right, everybody. Joseph Gibson here, podcasting Greensboro, North Carolina. I do have a guest here tonight. I think that we got hooked up with that's going to call in here, and I don't even know what they want to say, actually, but I do have something that I do have to read off here. I know last night it was given to me, but I didn't really get a chance to really go dig into it and really go from the beginning to the end. I kind of like spouted it out little by little because we had a special guest on last night's podcast. And then, of course, you know, some people, of course, want to attack him, and that's what usually happens. You know, anytime you talk the truth or you bring a message of truth or anything to convict the people of their stupidity, you know, and that's basically what he was doing, and that's basically what we try to do here is to make you understand the times in which we live today, and that's the name of the show. And, of course, I get attacked consistently, and that's okay. That's fine. But you know, I don't like the guests to get attacked. But what we try to do is expose the darkness out there and the evil and expose the New World Order. I mean, I've even called the Federal Reserve live on this show, and you guys heard it yourself if you were listening, that, you know, they told me I'd be dealt with and they'd make my life a living hell. Well, they pretty much have, you know, so they've succeeded so far. But I'm still alive and still going, and, you know, but anyway, okay, this message here that I was given last night, I did forward it to some friends today. And you know how it pertains to what's really going on today that everybody's talking about and what we're seeing and what's going on, because right now what we're seeing and what's going on is our republic is basically almost finished. I'm going to tell you something. When Biden takes over Kamala Harris, if you remember correctly, I had Kamala Harris's office on this podcast when she, you know, started her primary campaign. I contacted her office, and we had them on here several times. I contacted Swadwell, all the other ones, and, you know, the other losers out there, and Bernie Sanders even. And Kamala Harris was the one I contacted the most because I was already told that, you know, she was going to be in there some way, shape, or form in the next administration if Trump was unable to, you know, destroy this evil cabal, you know, put together, you know, a campaign that would be able to suppress the evil cabal that's obviously stolen this election and hijacked this election, and that's going to obviously we could be in for real big trouble here. So, but this was given to me last night, and he said I was told I could read it, and you know, I'll do the best I can. You know, with Mary Fanning and Lieutenant General Thomas McKinney understand how the election corruption occurred as well as the tools that were used to do it. This is a national security issue. This is a coup. We are in a precarious situation. As a nation, President Trump has powers that can be exercised to stop this, though. Okay? So I think that's what half of his aides right now are like advising him to just, concede, just give it up. I mean, have you ever seen something like this? Not to interrupt what I'm trying to say, but have you ever seen something like this in your lifetime? Any election? I mean, we know that Florida thing there with Bush and Gore there, but that was, one state. Have anyone ever seen something like this? This is insane. It's kind of like JFK in a way, him getting his head blown off there. All right. This has got a lot of information in it, actually. President Trump has the powers that can be exercised to stop this, though he needs the support of the American people. Okay? This is the most dangerous situation our nation has been in since the Civil War. Bannon with Rich Higgins at end, and there's a critical, there's a star next to it, that's a message. Now, Lieutenant Thomas McKinney and Mary Fanning it is, right? Okay, this is an interview regarding the scorecard. In February 2009, the Obama administration commanded a powerful supercomputer system known as the Hammer. You can look it up, folks. You can verify this information. The Hammer includes an exploit application known as Scorecard that is capable of hacking into elections and stealing the vote, according to the CIA, folks. Hang on. CIA contractor turned whistleblower Dennis Montgomery, who designed and built the Hammer. Okay, so like I said, you can look that up if you want to. The whistleblower tapes confidential audio recordings released by the U.S. District Judge G. Murray Snow's courtroom in November 2015 revealed that the scorecard was deployed by the Obama team against the Florida election computers to steal the 2012 presidential election on behalf of President Barack Obama and Vice President Joe Biden. Scorecard is now being activated to steal the vote on behalf of Joe Biden. Once again, Biden utilized the Hammer and Scorecard while running for vice president, in 2012. Votes are again being stolen on Joe Biden's behalf as he runs for president of the United States in 2020. And you can go to this website. I doubt it's still up right now because they gave me this last night, but you can check it out if you want to. www.worldviewweekend.com/radio/audio. Brandon House, November 4th, 2020. Okay, so basically, if you heard what I just had to say right there, there's more to this right here that I can't actually give you. Some stuff down here at the bottom, but there's some people there's some other footnotes down here at the bottom, but I can't give you that information because I can't reveal any source that gives me any information. Now, whether or not that's breaking or whatnot, of course it's not. But if those of us that are inside and know that have friends in the intelligence community out there, they're not talking about this on the media anywhere in the media. I mean, Tucker Carlson is not talking about this. Okay. They never have, and CNN sure as hell isn't talking about it, so why am I talking about it? Why would it be given to me and a dozen or so other people? Because, we try to reveal the most pertinent information. And the information that was given to me from was an individual that has been on this podcast several times, and he has predicted a lot of things that has happened. I mean, the coronavirus, he talked about that. Let's see, there's a lot of things that happen in the Middle East. He's come on here. A lot of things with the economy predicted over the years when he's been on my podcast. And it's not that he has a crystal ball. It's that he's in the intelligence community higher up than most people that I know and knows exactly what's going on. And he comes on this podcast sometimes and answers questions. But, last night, of course, he was yelled at by who, the Mr. People's Revolution there, that he's the judge and the king. But, like I said, hopefully that information was useful to you. If you didn't get it all as I read it, you can go back in the archives, listen to the show again, go word for word what I had to say, verify it. Go right ahead. Whatever I had to say there is fact. And, our republic is in trouble. The most important thing that was said there is that the American people have got to wake up and they have to stand behind President Trump here because this is going to go to the Supreme Court. That's what's going to happen here, and a real decision is not going to be made till the first week of December, okay? So all through November, you can stay glued to the TV all you want to, the radio. Biden's not going to be your president, okay, until December. Well, the decision's going to be made December. That's from what I was told. Could it change? I'll let you know. But that's from what I was told. All right, now, as you can see, as of right now, if you look at your corporate news media, what are they still saying? They've been saying the same thing since Tuesday. Basically, you got Biden at 264 delegates, electoral votes, and Trump at 214, right? Right? So who's telling the truth here? It's up to you, whatever you want to believe. And that's a fact. We're in an information war, information age, and there's a lot of disinformation out there. So it's best for us to try to tell the truth, speak the truth, and always stand by the truth and fight for the truth no matter what. Never concede. Never give up. Stand up for what you believe in. Fight for what you believe in, and be truthful and be honest. Never conform to the way the world believes or what people tell you that you should do. If you believe in your heart that you're right, you stand up for what's right. And that's a lot of the problem that we have today is we concede and we give up and we give in. That's not American. That's not the way it is. That's not what we are founded upon. And that's not what the Republic stands for, folks. Simple as that. We're not a democracy. We are a republic. Okay? Nowhere in the Constitution does it say anything about democracy. All right, so I do have a guest here tonight that's supposed to be coming on that has some things to say that I don't even know, actually. This is a surprise guest. One of my friends recommended this guest. So this guest has to press number 1. I've got a full call board here. Please press number 1 if you're there. Rihanna, where's your guest? Okay, there we go. Boom. All right. Thank you for the other people there. Now about 20 people pressed number 1. All right, but I think I know which one it is here. I'm going to go ahead and connect you, and then you introduce yourself, and I'll give you the floor. Talk and say what you got to say, and then we'll open up the phone lines, and people can comment, tell a story, talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's what the show is about. All right, go ahead. 479. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's you. Hi there. This is Beth, and
hi, Beth.
I'm not
How you
exactly
doing?
sure. I'm hanging in there, I think, like a lot of the rest of us, and just trying to make sense of everything that I've just witnessed go on in this country. So, and
it's
I'm not
insanity.
really. What was that?
It's insanity. It's insanity.
It really
is.
It's really the crazies running the asylum. Truly, it's a hijacking of our values and our very way of life, and it's despicable what we're noticing, and I'm not exactly real sure why I'm here. I was asked by a friend to come on and talk, and I think I jumped the gun a little too quick that she was going to come on and kind of give a rundown of what she wanted to talk about, but I just give an intro to every show. I let the callers that call in talk about whatever they want to talk about. Like, for instance, if you have something that you want to share, I don't care if it's about the sun, or it rained 3 days in a row where you live. That's up to you. Whatever you want to talk about. It's, because I got people that call in and call me an asshole, and they want to threaten me and everything too. So so you just talk about whatever you want to talk about. She just said that you wanted to come on and talk, and he had some things to say. So you say whatever you want to say. Well, I think a lot of why I was asked to talk is I've done a lot of things and dealt with a lot of government corruption over the years, and I, too, have myself in of it, and I'm a family and child advocate, and I deal with a lot of things such as this in the fraud scene and a lot of what we're seeing today, and I've helped a lot of families, and I do have a legal background to where I am knowledgeable about the law and the Constitution and things of that nature, and just watching everything that I've witnessed for many years now, it's really brain-blowing, and I've tried to be out there educating and talking about these things back in the day when, you were looked at like you had a third eye in the middle of your forehead for even thinking to open your mouth about such things, even though they were true. And my friend had asked me to come on and just make a little bit of sense of everything, which I got to be honest, I'm having a hard time making sense of this because, I've never witnessed this firsthand myself. I've heard about 30 elections, but I think the last one was back in the 1960s, and this is why history is there, so that it doesn't repeat. And I would say that, we are in a lot of trouble. We are at the cusp of pretty much, between our freedom and communism. That's exactly what it's coming down to.
Communist socialist country. You're absolutely correct, and you're absolutely right. This is the first time in history in anybody's life that they've ever seen so much corruption. I mean, I remember growing up when I was a kid. They had the freaking winner of the president. I think it was Carter. I mean, I was a kid. It was Carter and Reagan or something, and Reagan had won. You know, and I was in bed before it was over. You know, I mean, what's this? We're here on Friday night, you know, from a Tuesday, and these people can't figure it out, and we're hearing all these stories. What the hell's going on? You know?
Well,
I mean, why aren't we dancing in the streets, yelling and screaming and saying, we could freaking get up on Sunday morning for a freaking football game, pack a stadium all over the country, 60,000 plus, and yell and scream and kill each other over a football game, but we can't freaking get angry over this? You know, what's going on here?
Well, no, and this blatantly goes against everything that our Constitution stands for. I mean, what we're seeing go on, in my opinion, is the highest form of treason there is. This is directly usurping the will of the people. It's interfering with elections. It's basically governors, senators, people in power doing their will and whatever they want to do, and the American voter be damned. And that's where we sit right now. And this, what I think the most sickening part is, it's so blatantly obvious that they've gotten such power, and we've all been told that this is exactly what absolute power does. We are seeing it play out. It corrupts absolutely.
Well, the problem is that we've gone over several times, is that we've been contracted into the system by deception and by birth, you know, and It's been generation after generation since the Civil War. And, you know, and that's what the Civil War was really about. But we're all taught in school that the Civil War was about slavery, which is totally false. And I've had many discussions over that over the years. And finally, I got most people to probably agree with me on that usually listen to the show. You know, after showing document after document and reading and arguing and debating with people, that common sense would say wasn't about slavery. But, you know, that's what they teach. And anyway, we were hijacked, this country, and we don't understand that our republic form of government was really hijacked. And then it was taken over through the money system in 1913 through the Federal Reserve. Actually, it was 1910, 1911, and it was enacted in 1913. And then they bankrupted the country in 29. Then in 33, they declared it a success. That's when they stamped the pyramid on the $1 bill, and they declared it a new world, you know, their one world success there with the all-seeing eye. And then, you know, they sampled their New World Order prize there, Adolf Hitler, and then they got rid of him. And, you know, it's just been going on since. And JFK stood up against it, and they shot him in the head and got rid of him real fast. You know, and we can go on and on throughout history. Reagan stood up to it for a little while, but they said, well, we'll get him too, and then he shut up real fast. But he had Bush, you know, hiding behind the scenes, his New World Order, you know, and then Bush came in, he declared his New World Order in 1991, you know, he gave 5 New World Order speeches, and, you know, that's when we got into the Middle East crap and got our, you know, in there. And here we are, you know, then they smashed the World Trade Centers down, blew those things up, and, you know, we can go on and on and on. But here we are now. Trump was our last Trump, okay, just like it says in the Bible, the Trump, last Trump. And it's over now, basically, unless the American people rise up and say, hey, we want our republic, we want our de jure system, because Trump was for the republic, okay? This guy was the republic. That's why, how many wars have we been involved in since Trump's been president? None. All right, he's been getting everybody out of it because it's none of our, you know. I mean, he was a constitutional guy. He was a republic type of guy, and he was restoring our republic. And he says it so many times in his speeches, but people just don't listen to it because they're too busy paying attention to if he says black or white and the racial crap, you know, because you know, and the social justice warriors. But go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Oh no, hey, people need to hear these things, and I think that's a lot of where the problem lies is, you know, for too long, too many people, for whatever reason, because of what they were taught or because they didn't want to believe it, you know, they've just kind of been asleep at the wheel, and now it's time to really address, you know, where we went wrong. We were told. You're absolutely correct. We were never meant to be a democracy. We were always meant to be a constitutional republic. And what our founding fathers did tell us is, here is your republic, if you can.
Well, that's the thing too.
And this is a perfect example.
Yeah, it's a perfect example. And the thing of it is, history will degrade Trump. Well, they do it right before our very eyes. And they do that thing with George Washington, too. Oh, he was a Mason. You know, George Washington, Jefferson, they were all Masons. And, you know, who was sitting at the table, this and that. You know, they you know, he had wooden teeth, you know, and they make fun of him like that. You know, they destroyed the, you know, come on, man. The Founding Fathers were here today, they'd be in a shooting war with everybody. The 3% would be back, and there would be war in the streets. There'd be blood. Because, you know, the simple fact is, you know.
Yeah, we would already be in Yorktown right now.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have hesitated. But, you know, and this is a prime example. And this is also, I'm not trying to turn this on spew about religion or anything, but what I believe we are seeing is this is truly a battle of good and evil. And I think a lot of why there's a lot of disregard towards our Constitution is when our founding fathers wrote it, they had a belief in a creator and a higher power and had very biblical values, and they used that Bible to essentially put our Constitution together. And it is hated today. I mean, we are seeing so many things at so many levels go on right now.
Well, you just look. If you don't know the Constitution, well, people don't understand it, and it was so well written, and people, how could you disagree with this foundation? I mean, just for instance, I mean, how many of you know out there, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth, and to separate an equal station, to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them a decent respect to the opinions of mankind, requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. I mean, we go on and on. How many people out there know the Constitution? How many people out there have studied it? How many people know?
I do know the Constitution. As a matter of fact, I did go to school for the Constitution, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing today because I saw long ago that this country was on a very, very bad road. And I do know it. I've been trying to teach it. I've been trying to educate people about it. And I think
they don't teach it in the schools. You know, they don't teach. And the most important thing that everyone should really focus on is what's very important is that, look, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with what? Certain unalienable rights. That, comma, there's a comma after that. And commas are very important. It's just like the Bible. A comma could separate 2,000 years. You have to understand that. You know, there's a reason why you have punctuation marks in, in these writings. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Okay, a lot of people don't understand these things. They don't get it, and they really don't even know what I just actually said right there.
And here's something for you. They don't teach it in school, but here's something that a lot of people don't know either. Is it's not even taught in law school. The Constitution is not taught in law school. If you go and start rattling off about the Constitution, because believe you me, My consult was a Federalist paper, and I got a lot of argument from my professors. It's not even taught in law school. Constitutional law is taught, and that is an animal of a whole different color. And I could go on and on all day long about state sovereignty and everything else and where things went wrong, but it's a mess. It is a mess.
Yeah, and I just want to let everyone know that's on the call board or whoever's in the chat room or wherever. If you want to call in 657-383-0616, press number 1. I will get to your call, I promise, and I don't censor or screen calls. So I just want to let you know that. But I've got a guest here on tonight, Beth. There, I think you had some messages I think you wanted to bring. Maybe we got off track from your messages. I'm not sure, but I'm giving you the floor, and obviously we're having a great conversation here about the things that are understanding the times in which you live today. So I'll continue. Go ahead and continue on, please.
Well, I mean, there's just like I told the person who asked me to be on, I'm still shock and awe over a lot of this. I'm still trying to piece together what to do, how to do it. I mean, there's things that can be done, and yes, the president can do things, but I think the president currently right now is in a situation, he's doing what can be done. And as people to, our founding fathers even told us, a country divided will never stand united, and this has been their game plan all along. You know, we need to go up against the real enemy and stop fighting each other and find our common bond and say, hey, look, you know, these people are perverting our Constitution. They are running rogue. They are essentially throwing out the rule of law and doing whatever they want. And
they've been doing that. They've been doing that in our republic form of government. You know, I mean, because it's a de facto system. It has been you know, we really don't have a constitution, right? There's two constitutions operating side by side, and they conflict with each other daily in our day-to-day lives. You know, you don't need a driver's license driving down a damn road. You know, you have a right to travel. Who the hell is the government to tell you and restrict you and regulate you to travel? And you know what? They can't take away your guns. If you want to arm yourself, you're allowed to arm yourself. It doesn't matter. And you know, it's okay. You're not allowed to have 50 bullets in a gun, you know, because you know what? That's unsafe. Who the hell are you? You know, read the Constitution. You know, are we obeying the Constitution or are we not? You know, and then you get these judges that create this case law that all of a sudden becomes law, that's not what it's supposed to be in this precedent and everything. I think the Supreme Court, their justice there, when she was confirmation hearing, she pretty much explained what the Supreme Court's role was very eloquently and very intelligently, and that was great. And I mean, she's a very smart woman. I'm glad she's on that. You know, she's a Supreme Court justice. I mean, I'm telling you right now, that's a very smart woman right there. And I'm glad that that woman right there is, you know, I would say let her run for president. You know, but she knew her stuff. You know, and we need more people like that. You know, imagine that all women out there across the country that to be educated like that, you know, and to be a good mother and whatnot. And, you know, our country would heal itself automatically. You know, God would definitely heal us. But, you know, we have to understand what's really going on today. We live in a de facto system, and we've got to chop the head of the snake off the money, and that's the Federal Reserve. You know, I've always been told that from a lot of patriots out there that are scholars that have studied this. The Federal Reserve has got to be abolished. End the Fed.
Yep.
Chop the head of the snake off first.
Well, it's the power of the purse, you know. I mean, and I've often said this too, but a lot of people, that's the problem, is, you know, they don't educate themselves. They don't fully pay attention and do what we could be doing. We could be recalling these public officials that are not doing the will of the government. You know, there are crimes that are occurring here, big crimes that shouldn't be occurring, and people need to be held accountable, you know. And, I mean, the whole thing, quite honestly, has been mind-blowing to me. That it's not shocking because I see a lot of things and I've seen a lot of things that I never thought that I would believe. And I've, in a sense, become conditioned to things like this because, trust me, I've seen evil in other forms that have went on before.
Well, you said you were a child advocate, right? Child advocacy, right? I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit because we've discussed that issue a lot on this show. So we've gone after CPS and stuff like that. So I don't know if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, I have done a lot of child and family advocacy and helped people that were dealing with CPS that were being falsely accused and losing their children. And I do that every day. And I think a big problem, you know, the whole thing is fraud. And that's something nobody wants to address. Our courts don't want to address fraud. I mean, our courts are being run on fraud. These CPS cases, you know, that's the reason that I am not working in law today is because essentially I came out and called them out on the fraud on the courts. And it was essentially then and there career suicide because they don't want to believe it exists. And it's everywhere. And I deal with it. That's why I guess I'm not as shocked as I should be by what's going on with the voter fraud. And yes, there is voter fraud. I will stand behind that 100% and say, oh, yes, there is. That's
well, there is. What we're watching is watching the American Republic, you know, fall basically to communist China. You know, it's a backed coup that is succeeding. And we know the China blue hats, white hats, black hats, whatever you want to call it, that have been operating here in the United States for a while now. Look, Trump attacked China With the trade, as soon as the trade war began, what happened? The virus came out. The CIA, they went out there, put that out there. They actually planned it a year before. It was in August of 2018. They put the virus out there over there in China, and and then it spread like wildfire across the globe. But this virus is nothing nothing what they wanted it to be. It's just, but they were able to scare the people into believing it is. We're watching the American Republic, fall right before our very eyes. And we are witnessing one of the greatest events in all of human history. That is the fall of the USA to globalist corporate authoritism. The authoritism of these globalists that want to destroy American sovereignty. And people need to understand this is very important. You're not going to be able to hide in your closet anymore. You're not going to be able to hide under the sheets of your bed. You're not going to be able, your cozy little lip. You're not going to be able to sit on your couch and say, please, just leave me alone. Give me my, my radios, my radio and my Lady Gaga and my football on Sunday, and I can go to work on Monday. It's not like that no more. Okay, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. We're all going to be running from FEMA police very soon. You just don't know it. These people got it planned out.
Yep. I mean, there's so much going on, but unfortunately, too many refuse to believe it for so long, and I think now they're seeing, we got to do something, and all we can really do is stand behind him. Let our voice be known. Let these people know. Hey, look, not all of us are asleep. There are people that are educated. We do know what that Constitution says, and we're not going to go down without a fight. And no, I'm not advocating everybody to go and pick up guns and go in the street, but I am advocating that we start learning our Constitution and living by it and understanding what our true power as a people is and being that government, because this government is doing some things that they should not be doing.
Well, they're doing a lot of things they should not be doing, actually. But let me get to the callers here and stay on the line with me, Beth. And let me go down the line here. 657-383-0616. Press the number 1. I'll get you on here. If you've got something you want to say, you don't even have to give your name. You can remain anonymous. Don't worry. I'm not going to know who you are. I don't know who anybody is. But this is your chance to voice what you want to say. Listen, this podcast right here is archived. It's on social media. It's out there, and trust me, we've had a lot of great people on this podcast throughout the years. So if you want a voice, Fox News is not a voice. CNN is not a voice. All right? So, all right, 717, go ahead. I think this is Rihanna, actually. Go ahead, 717.
Hi, Beth. She knows a lot about my case. She's done a lot of advocating for me, too. She knows it in and out. She's seen videos and whatnot. But anyway, I definitely agree with her. I'm still flabbergasted by what's going on, but I do believe we need to go to Washington and stand behind the president and make people know that we, the people, this is our voice. This is us standing up, and we won't take their bullshit. And follow.
Well, we don't have to go to Washington to do that. We could do that right here in our individual counties and our individual cities and towns, because locally our municipalities are the ones that are suppressing us.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. You got to remember, there's like a quarter of a second lag time. So when I start talking, then you don't hear it for a quarter of a second. Somebody else starts talking, talk over each other. But go ahead, Rihanna. I'm sorry.
Oh yes. I definitely know that we don't have to go. Leave our state. But
you're
think,
in Pennsylvania. Hang on, Rihanna.
Yeah.
You're in Pennsylvania. What are they talking about on the local news media there?
There's a gentleman that was actually talking about Pennsylvania before the voters even put in some of their polls. You did have the mail-in ballots, and I don't know how many people supposedly mailed in these ballots. I know I voted for President Trump and we the people. I don't like Biden, and that's okay. I did meet a nice lady.
Are you a registered Republican? Because I would like to hear from an honest registered Democrat how many mail-in ballots they received in the mail. I'd like to hear that. That would be great, because at 10, 12, 15, 16, 20, because if you're a registered Republican, I doubt you got, because that's what they did. They mailed all these people, these ballots, and that was one of the scams. Actually, there were many more there that I just read earlier.
I actually, when I registered before all this, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I did register as an independent. But I went for Trump because, well, I like Trump anyway. I know what he has done for this country. A lot of things that, our economy, our, can't think of the word, but our finances, more business. He's put more business out there for the black community. And,
I agree with that. You're absolutely right. The cities have to be addressed, but most of the cities out there, they're still so naive and ignorant. It's not even funny. But at least I'm surrounded by a great area here. You speak to any. I never even heard of Biden. You don't even hear of Biden around here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
No.
You won't see one Biden sign.
Here in Pennsylvania, where I'm at, are all Trump supporters. Not one person do I know.
No, but let me ask you this question: how can these two candidates show up in Pennsylvania? Biden shows up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He's got 13 supporters there. Trump shows up. He's got 56,000 people. Now, you know damn well, Rihanna, if you and I were running against each other, or you and I were competing against each other, whether it be football, baseball, soccer, basketball, whatever, politics, if I had 50,000 people show up for me, and you had 13 people show up, who would win the opinion poll? Who would win the favoritism role? It would be me. They would want me to win. Right. If I had, 56,000, 50,000. You know what I mean? So where the hell are these voters coming from?
Right. I do know one thing. President Trump was supposed to come to Pennsylvania, but here's a wonderful thing there. The governor threw a hissy fit because he didn't wear a mask, and, he had so many supporters that everybody would be flocking to him and not wearing a mask. Why? Because we believe in our rights. We believe in the Constitution, and none of this is okay. But found out that Joe Biden was in Pennsylvania, in Gettysburg, and a few people showed up there, but I didn't even know he was in town. Never heard anything about it, nothing. So, today my husband and I actually went and ate out at Denny's, and this lady that served us was talking about it, and she said she's a heavy Trump supporter, and that she knows that the Democrats have actually used dead people and children.
They did what? Say that again. What did they do?
Use dead people, basically, like these people rose from the dead just to vote.
Oh, okay. Like fake supporters, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, everyone does that pretty much, to prop themselves up, but that's fine. But the thing of it is why would you sell yourself out like that? Why do that? For what? $100 bill, a couple $100? Votes can be bought. They do that with signatures down here in North Carolina, for instance. You could buy, when you run for office down here in North Carolina, say if I was running for NC House of Representatives, I have to go out and get 4,000 signatures. I could actually pay people to sign my petition. That's stupid. That's just absolutely asinine, if you ask me. Pay people, to support me. What kind? The machine breaks right then and there, right there. But you argue with these people like I did, and I have. They look at you with cockeyed and like a jackass, and well, you have a good day, sir. Bless your heart. And then they're on the phone. Hey, we got one that could see. And then they're following you and they're pulling you over and then they're throwing you in the concrete box. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a little tangent there. I just went off on one there, but Rihanna, just stay on the line. I'm gonna go open up some phone lines here. Hopefully, we got some. We get rid of the spam callers here and the trolls. We'll see what happens. But 702, go ahead. I'll wait 702. You've been waiting 26 minutes, so go ahead. 702.
Hi. I have to agree with Rhiannon about how we all should go to Washington because even though you said that we can do it from our own states, which is absolutely true, in our own counties and everything, they're not going to hear us. They're not going to see how many voices and how many people are really, speaking out unless we show face. And I mean, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but we're the people. This is our country, and they work for us. We don't work for them. We're not, supposed to be, servants to their will. And a lot of it, I think people are scared to speak out. I think there are a lot more people who know the Constitution and stuff like that than lead on. But I just think people are scared. I think that people have just been like, well, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And they just don't say anything.
But why be scared? What are you scared of? What are you scared of losing? Your house, your car, your job? Why should you be scared?
I'm not scared of losing everything. I'm not scared of losing everything. The effers already took everything from me. They can have all my stuff. I don't care.
Well,
they took my
a key
kids.
point there. They got you. So you understand what the system's about. So you're a fighter.
Right.
Okay, so you're out there fighting. You get it. But say that to the guy out there living in that $1 million house that's got 3 cars out there, 5 car payments with 3 cars, and he's got a $5,000 a month mortgage, and he's going to his corporate office there, with a $250,000 a year salary, and he owes out $350 every year in bills,
Mm-hmm.
and then he owes the IRS at the end of the year. He's got to get out there and go to work. He's got a lot to lose, man. What? I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to sacrifice? Why should I? Because I'm 52 years old and I worked my whole life for this, and I'm not giving it up for you, right? That's the attitude out there, right?
That's true. No, you're absolutely right about that. But, I don't want to bring CPS into it, okay? But I will.
Oh, you can, because they're one of the organizations out there. They're the long arm of the criminal government, like the IRS.
They are.
And the Federal Reserve.
I mean, I have to say that they are. It's well known that they're criminals and that they don't follow their own policies. They don't follow their own protocol. They sure as hell don't follow any constitutional rights of any kind, and.
But not all of them. Hang on 1 second, though. Not all of them, though, because there are CPS workers out there that say, hey, there are children out there that, are in bad situations, and what are we supposed to do? Let them be abused? But a majority are bad. I'll give you that.
Well, let me clarify. So I do respect their mission because, like you said, there are children out there who need the help. There are children out there who are in serious danger, but it's their execution. And it is well known that they go after low-income families, and they can use that low income as a means to, quote-unquote, prove negligence. If a family is low income, it doesn't matter if both parents are working and they're able to pay child care and, whatever, get the kids to school on time, make sure they're fed. It doesn't matter. If they're low income, they're a target.
Well, wait a second now. How would CPS know that a family is? I'm going to get to all the callers here. Just take it easy there. I just see a lot of people there hanging up, calling back in, Just take it easy. Everybody's going to get a chance here. What I got on the call board now, anyway. How does CPS know you're low income? How do they know? They don't go, looking around. I mean, somebody's not calling. Hey, there's John over there down the street. He makes only $20,000 a year. Let's take their kids. How do they know this?
Because when they get a call, they start looking up the family first before they go after them. People who have a ton of money and a lot of kids, it's highly unlikely that they go after them because they know that family can afford the representation needed to combat their asinine family plans and their stupid rules and all their other crap. They know that family can afford the representation,
so
they have to ask
themselves,
is that really
they have
worth
spies,
it?
They have guidance counselors in the schools and social workers, basically. Because I'm answering emails. You got to remember, I got people writing me messages saying, well, ask this, how do they, I'm getting questions pounded at me, and that's why I'm bringing this stuff up. It's not me. The schools are the agents.
Yes, and I wanted to I do agree with that, because I'll tell you what, I have firsthand experience in that. My daughter was becoming increasingly depressed, very despondent, and she was becoming violent to her brother and sister and our dogs. She told us it's because she was mad that we moved, because we moved from a different area to a different state, and she was upset that we moved. Before CPS was called on us, we asked the school for help. We wanted counseling to help her become
that
acclimated.
Was the right thing. Because you thought that was the right thing to do, but turned out they were the devil. They were the sheep. The wolf in sheep's clothing. You know.
The wolf in sheep's clothing, and I got to tell you, it says in the state, the Children's Commission in the state that I'm at, it says if a family makes an outcry for help, CPS is not to get involved except to assist. That means that they have to assist with the resources you are asking for. And that
now, let me ask you this, though.
Well,
let me ask you this question now. We got Trump in there for the last 4 years. CPS has still been snatching up kids. Why hasn't this been stopped if Trump is our Lord and Savior and our God here? Why didn't it?
Because he had a lot of shit to clean up. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to cuss on the podcast.
That's correct.
But he had a lot of shit to clean up, and in the beginning of all of this, everybody was so pissed off about the wall that he wanted to build and this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, the real predators are in their offices, using the color of law to kidnap kids, saying that they are
get
doing.
The children. Yeah. Well, going after the children has always been the first they have to go after the children. I play that little intro a lot with George Carlin. Head Start, Left Behind. No Child Left Behind. Head Start. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, No Child Left Behind. Head Start. Somebody's losing some ground here. He makes that little comedy role there, and that's the truth. And the thing of it is, they go after the children. The children, and the children is where we need to go after. We need to go after the children and say, educate our children out there. But we're not doing it because we're too busy trying to stay alive and just get by day to day. And, that's got to stop.
I have to tell you, I am a very strong supporter of homeschooling children. And I always wanted to homeschool my children, but really it was only because I wanted to be able to spend time with them and help them learn and stuff like that. But we were never a victim of CPS until we moved to the state that we're in now. And then I really started understanding, that you cannot even trust the damn teachers. Some teachers are freaking awesome. You can tell them anything. You can talk to them about stuff, and they're full of suggestions, and they want to help.
Well, why are some before I open up the next caller here? Before I get to the next caller here, I want you to stay on the line here because we can continue on with this conversation with CPS all night long. But I want to say before I open up the next caller, why are these teachers or spies for CPS? Because I've had this actually happen personally with some people that I know, where the counselor made a report to CPS. Next thing you know, they're knocking on the door. But CPS did their job, and they were good. There's no problem here. It was just a false report. But why are these counselors doing it? Are they receiving some sort of compensation or money for this?
I can tell you, but I have not found any proof. To me, it's more so of an opinion. I'm really a thinker when it comes to this stuff. The counselors, the teachers, the therapists, all these people who are mandated reporters, quote unquote, are their biggest reporters. Therefore, the teachers are the parents in the school with the teachers.
Yep.
To protect their children. Are their children alone in the school with these adults? Are the parents in a lot of cases allowed to go into a therapist's office when their child is having therapy? Are parents allowed to go to these certain places where their children are going to be alone? No, not all the time. In the schools, parents can come and assist the teacher, of course, but 9 times out of 10, a parent is going to be at work, and
that's true.
They're alone with these adults, these mandated reporters. That's why these teachers, therapists, doctors, and whomever else is a mandated reporter, because they're the ones that have the children when the parents are not around. And
You're
so
absolutely correct.
if the parent's not around to protect their child, then, they're going to run rampant.
That's right.
Most of the
And
kids,
I'm going to get to the next caller. I'm going to get to the next caller here, but I want to answer. I got a dozen emails here. Trump cannot lawfully use the armed forces to sway the election. No, he can't. Okay. Beyond the specifics of the Posse Comitatus Act and its expectations, a whole set of federal laws make it illegal for the military or anyone else. So knock it off, people. All right, sending that nonsense there to me. Okay, but Trump can, basically use the courts. He can use that. And basically what I'm trying to say, I've already covered this. I've already talked about it. But if anyone wants to offer some information to it, it was illegal what had happened, and fraud can be proven here. It's easy enough for Trump campaign to file a lawsuit claiming the improper illegal acts here, but it's a lot harder to provide the evidence of wrongdoing or a convincing legal argument. So he has to make sure, but I think they've got it. I really do. I think they do, and I think this is, from what I've been told, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And then we may see the riots erupt in the street and all the liberals flop on the ground and, like they did, and start crying and doing what they do. All right, next caller here. I'm going to do private callers. Like I said, if you're coming on here to talk about nonsense, I'm going to boot you off so fast your freaking head will spin. All right, so don't waste my time, please. Don't. Just hang up. All right, private caller, go ahead.
First of all, I wanted to say that Trump did go to Pennsylvania. He had 3 rallies there, and there was a lady earlier that said that Trump was not in Pennsylvania, and she was contradicted further by either yourself or one of your guests, where they said Trump had several people at his rally and Biden had about 12 people. So that will show you and tell you that Trump definitely did go to Pennsylvania. I just want to get that out into the open. Now, in regards to being a Democrat, you said you wanted a Democrat to call in. I myself am a registered Democrat. Did I vote that way this election? I'd rather not say right now, not at the moment. I will, however, let you know exactly who I voted for in just a couple minutes after I get to my point. Now,
get to your point, please. Yeah. How many mail-in ballots did you get? How many ballots did you get in the mail?
Well, okay. So to that point, there was mail-in ballots sent out to everyone, and people were able to vote in person as well. That is the misconception. Now, the one thing that President Trump did do is he told everybody to go vote in person, even if you received that ballot in the mail. So now all these mail-in ballots are being counted later on, and it is from
President Trump can tell you to jump off a cliff. It doesn't make it so. Why you say President Trump said that? He was only saying that because he knew the system was already going to be rigged and set up, and he was saying that to his supporters.
Joseph, now let me finish. Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, and like you said, if President Trump, now if you support President Trump, are you not going to back him up and his policies? And there's a reason you support him, because you agree with President Trump. Am I not correct in this?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Well then, if President Trump told me that he wanted me to vote in person because my vote was going to be more secure as a Trump follower, supporter, and believer, well, that's what I'm going to do, because I believe that he's done his homework and he is the president of the free, or the ruler of the free world, and I support his decision, and I'm going to believe in him. Now, in regards to if he told me to jump off a bridge, well, Joseph, you and I know better than that. Why would I jump off a bridge? Okay, there's some things that President has said that I don't agree with.
Well, who decides that then? Who decides that then?
Well, for the most part, I do.
Some things he says you do, some things you don't. You just told me he told you to go vote, so everybody should do that, right? Because that's what you just said. But if if he said you to jump off a bridge, you say, well, obviously, Joseph. Well, wait a second. Who decides that then? Things or none
things? I said that there are some things that he said, not that he told me to do. Some things that he said that I don't agree with. For example,
yeah, well, sure, of course. I don't agree with everything everybody said. George Bush was a Republican. Doesn't mean I supported him. I couldn't stand George Bush. Both of them, actually.
Do you know that President Trump is one of the most supportive as a Republican? One of the most or the biggest as far as president. for the homosexual community. Were you aware of that?
Yeah, sure. I'm a supporter of the homosexual community. You can do whatever the hell you want, in the privacy of your home. But don't tell me I got to bake a cake, and believe in what you believe. Don't tell me I have to believe it. Look, this is a free and open society. We have a Constitution. You obey the Constitution, and I'm all right with it. You offend the Constitution or offend me or then that's a different story. Do harm to me, it's
Joseph,
a different story.
We're not talking about that. Okay, you're apples and oranges. Going out on a tangent, you don't have to do that to have people think you're smart. Okay, we can stick to the subject and have an intellectual conversation.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to think I'm smart. I want them to know I'm smart. How's that sound? Better?
Okay,
go ahead. Finish your point.
Let's just stick to the subject. Okay. Now, in regards to the woman that's calling in, where CPS. Now, I apologize for that. I'm sorry that CPS showed up to your house, but I will tell you this. CPS does not just magically show up to your house. You will have to have done something, caught the attention of someone, whether it be your neighbor.
Wrong answer, wrong answer, pal. Guess what? If I know your name, if I know who you are, and I make a report to CPS, and I just make something up, they will show up at your house. They have to investigate every complaint.
Well,
hold up, Joseph. Can you hear me here? Because I do have to say that there is problems there. There is problems. I mean, CPS has been used as
I understand. For example,
the anonymous reporting system, and see, when you don't understand,
Hang on.
Okay, go ahead.
Beth, go ahead. Beth, let Beth speak real quick, and then go ahead and ask your question, because she's a child advocate. She's been through the system. She knows what she's talking about. So go ahead, Beth.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Beth.
Well, I'm more than a child advocate. I've actually stopped these legal kidnappings in progress and have that on my track record. And trust me, this is something that I've become a little bit of expert about and have dedicated over a decade of my life fighting. And basically,
Beth,
what it is there's a lot. What was that? Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. Are they still minors?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Carry on. I'm just trying to get my facts together. I'm jotting. I'm taking notes. Go ahead, Beth.
Well, and I don't want to come across as disrespectful or anything, but this is a lot of the problem in the world today. Is there's a lot of misinformation and people thinking that CPS doesn't just magically show up at your door. When you're looking, Hillary Clinton, she came in and did the Adoption and the Safe Families Act. She launched that off the Mondale Act. That then gave the government federal incentives. It no longer became about protecting the children. It no longer became about, people wanting to stand back and do what's right and everything. See, there was the federal incentive there for every child that is taken away from a home and placed into foster care and then later consecutively adopted. There's
all right, whoever's got the background noise, stop it, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth.
It is called baby brokering for bucks. And if somebody out there, even a CPS worker or somebody knows that you've got cute adoptable children, it has become about the funding. They want those children that they can come, they can get their hands on, that aren't all screwed up. I mean, there's a lot of agendas being played here, and people can show up at your door. A lot of times, 80% of them are being done by schools. Schools were mandated reporters. I've watched the statistics.
Well, they get an incentive.
During the coronavirus.
Yeah. They get an incentive, but the private caller there, I think the private caller had a specific point that he wanted to get to, and if you can go ahead and do that without attacking the callers here tonight, I appreciate that.
Well, I
don't feel Beth is attacking me, Joseph. Beth, I don't believe you're attacking me. No, I did not want.
Well, and I'm not trying to attack. I'm just saying the whole CPS thing here, there's a whole mishmash down a big old rabbit hole that a lot of people don't understand what brings CPS into somebody's life. And it's not
and I have one thing to
because
say.
They're doing something in the best interest of a child or a family.
Let me intervene here. Like, for example, right now, we're having an intellectual conversation, and Joseph says you're attacking me, which I know you're not. We're having a conversation, and as human beings.
No, I said you were attacking my callers. That's what I said. But go ahead.
Excuse me?
I said you were. I said you can ask your question without attacking the callers.
I was not
go ahead.
even
That's
talking,
what I said.
sir. I was not talking, and for you to.
All right, you're talking
say
now,
that.
but go ahead, please. We don't have to argue. Please go ahead.
Okay. Well. For example, CPS, I've gotten the attention of CPS Okay, they stopped me from doing a lot of things, and I've been an advocate myself. I helped plenty of youth all within my community. I've helped them. I've started organizations. I've had
what organizations have you started, sir? Hang on, what organizations? You said organizations. What organizations did you start?
Oh, I too have started organizations. That's how I've gotten in contact with people, and I've actually stopped these legal kidnappings in progress, gotten children home, stepped in to protect these families that are being wrongly done by a system that has gone rogue. And I apologize if I get a little passionate about this.
He's a Democrat. Hang on, back to the original point. He said he's a Democrat, so he had to make sure he stressed that point, very clearly, which I did request Democrats. So go ahead, Mr. Democrat. What do you got to say?
Here, let me talk to you about two of my organizations. One of them was called Junior Dreams. What we did is we purchased wholesale products, and a bunch of youths would go from house to house, and they would explain their motives and say, for example, I'm here to sell so-and-so product, and it's to go on a field trip, and they'd get X amount of money, and we'd send them on field trips, whether it be to museums, amusement parks.
All right. That's a good organization. And what else? What's your point, sir? Come on, make your point.
And I also started educationals where it was called a babysitters club, where we actually taught youth a craft. For example, we would teach them how to mow lawns, how to babysit, how to help out their neighbor, how to earn money in a decent way.
Great.
Okay,
that's good. Were you a part of the Obama Brigade or something, or or InfoGuard or something? I mean, okay, you started all these organizations. You sound like they were successful. They sound like great organizations.
Joseph, you don't have to come off as this aggressive. Okay, you're trying to be aggressive towards me, and
I know you're a typical liberal. I may offend you. I'm sorry, but that's okay. It's okay. There's no second place winners here. Okay. We all want to win here. So and there's only going to be one first place winner, and that's going to be me because I'm the host of the show. So, but go ahead, make your point.
Okay. Well, to my point on this, what I would definitely do is I would take a knife to their necks, and I would forcibly rape young teenage
All right. You want to be a jackass? You're off the air. Go ahead. You want to be an idiot. You're doing pretty good there. We're having a good discussion. You want to be a jackass? Yeah, I know. He's a whack job. That's what you're getting. You get that. You get them all the time. I get them. They call me all hours of the day. He blocked his number, actually. He called it a private number. He's a slick one. I got another private caller here. He's probably another slick one. But 29 minutes they've been waiting to get talk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, make your point. Go ahead. I'll get the next caller.
Okay, I want to make one more point. For somebody to say that CPS is not going to get involved for no reason, they had to have done something or whatever, that is completely ignorant. How many dads are broken up or, with somebody else, and their baby mama is pissed off at them for going and being with someone else and file false allegations on them? How many dads go through that? Dads are the ones who are more than anybody else. I have actually read articles from lawyers, where it states some of their cases. One of the complaints was that they molested somebody at a party.
Well, you're absolutely correct.
A minor at a party.
The false reports. Basically, what you're trying to say is false
all
reporting.
All the time. Well, that's why there's that anonymous thing. And your neighbor. Let's say
you know what gets me? You know what gets me is they don't have to tell you who made the complaint. You never get to face your accuser. That's crazy.
No, never. And this anonymous reporting thing, that's got to go.
Yeah, I can hear you, Brianna. Brianna, I got a bunch of callers here. I've got a full board here, so I got to get to everybody I possibly can.
Ahead.
But go ahead. No, go ahead, Brianna. Go ahead. No, that's all right. I want to give everyone equal time as much as I can because I got like a bunch of people here tonight. So, but go ahead, Brianna. Go ahead.
In what Emmy says, guys do that to the women too.
I was going to get to that. Believe me, I was going to get to that. There are men who do that too.
I kind of forgot what I was going to say. But
that's okay.
It had to do with CPS.
That's all right. Take your time.
No, we can hear you, and I was like, Serena
I know. Well, we got a lot of people on the phone line, but let me move down to the next private caller. Let me move down to the next private caller. It's been waiting 31 minutes. Hopefully they got something substantial to say here. Go ahead, private caller.
Hello, my friend. This is Albert, and I'm calling from California. Yeah.
Okay, Albert.
And,
I think you called in here before, but go ahead. How you doing, Albert?
No, I'm doing good. I voted for Biden because Kamala Harris was promising the people things so that Latino men can vote for her. And
what kind of things? What kind of things was Kamala Harris promising?
Oh, a lot of things. She was promising brand new Beats by Dre headphones, laptops, computers.
I don't know about that one, but I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Obama. I mean, they got the Obama phone out there still, right? You know, the Obama phone, free cell phone. Remember that one?
Obama phone, and and then she promised, more stuff. So I'm expecting her to come, with what she promised, And
okay, what if she
doesn't?
What are you going to do about it? Are you going to be upset? Are you going to burn down police stations and riot in the streets? If she doesn't?
Not really, because I already got my free laptop. I got my free headphones from Beats by Dre.
All right. Well, that's good. America's a great place,
I got
isn't
all
it?
that,
America's a great place, right? Hey, Albert, America's a great place to live, isn't it? Hey, Albert, thank you for calling. Yeah, Albert, I got to get to the next caller, Albert. But I'm glad you got a lot of free stuff, Albert. Hey, just enjoy your free stuff. It's always great to sacrifice liberty for a little bit, just for a little bit, sacrifice your freedom for a little, everything just for free stuff. Why not? All right, go ahead. All right, 651. All right, I may recognize this number. Go ahead, 47 minutes you've been waiting. Wow. 651, go ahead. No? No? 651? No, you don't want to talk? Going once, 651. No? Come on now. All right, I'll mute you. Go ahead. All right. Oh, 210. I think I recognize this number. Everybody's going to love this one. I'm sure he's got something really important to say. Go ahead, 210.
Hey, Joseph. Thanks for taking my call, and appreciate you taking my call after the show last night.
He did. This is the guy that called me up last night, everybody. He did call me after the show, and he called me from a Text Now number, which is obviously verifiable. It's a fake number. If anyone could download Text Now, you can create your own spoofed number and call somebody, and they can't call you back. But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. Look, I'm appreciative for you that you're doing a show here on Female Friday, and I wanted to share a couple things. So I have my own run-in with the CPS, and I wanted to share it with you guys and your fans. So I had a friend I was trying to help out, a lady very close to me, made several calls to CPS. The father was using drugs and alcohol, and CPS really drugged their feet getting to that house to make sure those kids were fine. So, I think there's arguments on both sides.
Okay. And what house? You called CPS that this father was using alcohol and drugs. Who is this father? I wonder.
Joey didn't want to talk about personal stuff.
You don't want to do that.
Right?
So is that father me, the guy that weighs 275 pounds, that's overweight and has a beer gut that can't see his dick for 3 years, like Leroy Dickinson, and whose real name is Jason Gibson, my brother, that hacks this show and that calls all the Tone fans and gives out all my personal information? Is that the same guy? Because let me tell you something, pal. Rihanna, what do I look like? Do I look like I'm 260 pounds with a beer gut?
No.
Come to Gold's Gym with me anytime you want, pal. But that's Jason Gibson. That's my brother. Yeah. What's that, pal?
No, I'm not your brother, but
no, I know you're not my brother, but you are. But you're one of the guys that Cranks calls me at 3:00 in the morning, right? And wants me to meet you at Possibilities on Battleground Avenue, Lawndale. And when are we meeting there, by the way? When are we meeting there? Because I really would like to do this. I really want to do this and meet you and your cronies there. And you know what? I'll come by myself, unarmed, and I'll tell you what. All I ask is each one of you, you come with 10 people. I just want to take you on one at a time in the alleyway on the side of the building there. One at a time. And trust me, you'll lose. Each one and everybody, okay?
What was the name of it? Is it the Alley Bar?
No, you said possibilities, pal. Possibilities. That's where you said. And that's
yeah.
In Greensboro. Everyone could look it up. It's a real restaurant. That's where all the Masons meet.
Yeah.
But you can go, Freemasons, that is. But, yeah, there's an alley right down there in the back. I want you to bring as many friends as you can, because you never show up at Gold's Gym, none of you. I want you to meet me there face-to-face, one-on-one. I just asked one-on-one. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll even do better. 2-on-1. You guys could take 2 guys to try to take me out. Come on. What's up? Can I get this challenge fulfilled or what? Come on.
Yeah, I'm happy to meet. I don't want to do it too late, though. I have a strict, there's certain people I need to see at night.
Yeah, you're under a curfew. I know,
because
you got to get back to your basement in your underwear and harass people and troll them. But listen, when can we do this? Let's set a date right now. And you know what? I'll get somebody there with the camera. They could videotape it. I won't press charges. I promise. I'm not gonna. You guys, make sure everybody signs an affidavit saying they won't press charges. I'm gonna stomp you, okay? But when you go to the hospital and you're 85 stitches across the side of your face. But listen, I just want to make sure that this is a date. We can set this up right now. What's that?
Yeah, let's make it exciting. Let's do it when the election's decided. So we'll keep it a little bit suspenseful.
A whole month I gotta wait to beat your ass, man? For real? Oh,
well,
man.
It could be tomorrow.
All right.
Biden is really cleaning Trump's clock.
All right. Well, so you're going to show up, right? Possibilities. That's a real restaurant, folks. Yep. Possibilities. These guys call me all the time. They want me to meet them up there. They never show up. None of them ever do. And if you've ever been a fan of this show for a long time, what's that, buddy? What?
So you asked things about things we're afraid of losing. I think the context was about the election, right?
Things we're afraid of losing?
Is that what
I don't know. What are you afraid of losing? I'm not afraid of losing anything.
Well, I'm afraid of losing, I'm afraid of losing my girlfriend, kids, access to Jägermeister.
Yeah. Really?
Really?
You're afraid of that? Well, let me help you. Check this out. Let me help you. Hang on. Let me help you, brother. You're going to lose all that, because if you meet me at Possibilities, I'm going to stomp you so bad that you're going to be in the hospital for 7 months. Okay? And then when you're just getting out of a coma, I should be just coming out of jail. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stomp you again. Okay?
Joe,
so what do you want to do about it?
There is a commitment that I made with my girlfriend. I committed to her.
Yeah, I know.
That
Bridget Pruitt, I know. Come on, I know. I'm so hurt. Oh, God. He says he's screwing my girlfriend, everybody. What should I do? Oh, my God. Oh, no. I'm going to commit suicide tonight. Listen, pal. Let me tell you something. You got no prize there, okay? You got no prize. So take your girlfriend. That's an old beat-up Cadillac with the rusted old seats that smell. That old Cadillac that's in a junkyard? Because that's what you got, all right? All right, what I got is I got something new, all right? So I'll meet you at Possibilities. Can you give me a date and time right now? Come on. In front of everybody. Thousands of people listening. Give me a date and time. Come on.
I just have I have one commitment I have to get by, and I committed to my new girlfriend. I wanted to teach her the importance of the Constitution because her previous boyfriend failed to do that. So can you give me 3 or 4 days?
For 3 or 4 days? Yeah, man. I'll give you. I mean, you said when the election so, but I kind of wanted a date. But if you want to call back in 3 or 4 days, I will promise I'll let my listeners know if you don't call in, and we can meet at Possibilities anytime you want. And like I said, bring as many friends as you want, because after I knock you out, I'm going to knock all of them out. Trust me. Okay.
And the 4,000 voters, you don't need to pay me to vote for you. You've already given me plenty already, so I appreciate that.
I have, really. And what's your favorite show on Blog Talk Radio? Come on, tell everybody.
The Times in Which We Live in Today with Joseph Gibson.
Thank you. Oh, this guy, you gotta love him. I'll tell you what, I'll only give you 84 stitches instead of 85. How's that sound? All right, I love you, man. You're a good guy. Can you give me your real phone number, by the way, instead of calling me from text now number?
Well, this is the only number I have right now.
Oh, all right, but you all right? Well, anyway, you said you're from Hillsboro, right? Hillsboro, North Carolina.
Hillsboro, North Carolina.
What's your real name? Come on, can you tell me your real name for everybody? Everyone knows my name. Can I get your name? Come on, tease us a little bit. Tease us. What's your first name, at least?
Yeah, Joseph. I'm also a Joseph Finkelstein.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You sound like you're kind of gay, though. Do you really like women? Or are you like one of those closet guys?
Well,
you know
I like.
You kind of like men
like
and
one
women.
in particular.
You know?
I like one in
Right.
particular.
No. Hang on. No. But are you like kind of one of those closet faggots that like you kind of like the smell of man's ass at the middle of the morning? You know what I mean? Are you one of those guys that like are in and out?
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. Stop.
I know. He's just getting me. He's never gonna show up. I know that. But this guy did call me, Rihanna. This guy did call me last night after the show. He really did. I got to give him credit. I really do. But anyway, everybody, that was one of the crank callers from last night that called me up, and supposedly he's screwing my girlfriend, which I don't care. Go right ahead. I don't give a shit.
Be well, Joseph.
But anyway,
we'll catch
all
up
right.
soon.
Hey, well, final word, pal, because I got some caller. I got a guest here tonight, and I don't want to take away from her time. But go ahead.
That's really it, brother. I just, I'm afraid of losing my girlfriend, the kids, Jägermeister, things like that. So,
all right.
Let's make sure we make the right decisions this political season.
Yeah. Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate your time here tonight. Hey, you can call me after the show again tonight if you want to. We can have a very interesting conversation. What do you think? Huh?
I have another commitment.
You think about
after
that.
The show.
Think about that. Let me mute your call. I'll mute your call right there, pal. 210-728-5883. That's his text now number that he uses, folks. He's been using it for a couple days. Hey, my IT guys out there, glad you know what you got to do. All right, Beth. Sorry about that, Beth. I'm like so loved across the internet, as you can see. These guys, they just call. They wait hours to call into me. They love me so much. They know all about my personal life. This is the world we live in today. But Beth, go ahead. Let's get back on topic here. Donald Trump and the elections and CPS and who's the other one there that we had on there? What's that? Rihanna. Who's the other one there? I forget her name.
Amy.
She's very outspoken. Yeah. Go ahead. Back to you guys. Go ahead. Let's get back on target here. Sorry about the distraction.
Okay.
There's my lovely fan.
That's okay. All of that stuff made me forget, but kind of. But yeah, just like Ree had said, I was going to get into the fact that moms do it too. I mean, dads do it too. There are dads who are just as jealous and upset, and maybe not even jealous, but just have a vendetta or whatever, and they want to get back at the person. But nowadays, what people really don't realize is, like, when I was a kid, abuse was abuse by definition, okay? But now, abuse is a matter of an opinion, okay? It's like I was telling y'all the other night. You take your kid to the store. Your kid asks for a lollipop. You say, no, honey, I got dinner in the crock pot. We're going to eat right when we get home. Somebody's going to call CPS and say that you're neglecting to feed your child. So abuse is a matter of opinion.
Well, it's a matter of opinion. You're absolutely right. You know what somebody told me today? They told me today. I'm going to get to other callers. Yeah, hang on, but I'm going to get to other callers, I promise.
Yes.
But hang on, Rihanna. Somebody told me today that they were at Walmart, right? And their grandmother spanked the little boy that was like totally out of control, and they called the Greensboro Police Department, and they were going to arrest this woman for spanking her grandson. What the hell's going on out there?
And nowhere does it say it's illegal to spank your child. It doesn't say anywhere that it's illegal to spank your child.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the state of Oklahoma, they even allow the school to put their hands on your children unless you say specifically not to, or you sign a paper basically saying, do not touch my child.
I know what I was going to say. I remember now. There are parents out there who are questioning, why would you take my child away from me and put them with abusers? And I'll tell you exactly why. So that they can remove your children again and get more money. If they put them with family and they know that their family is abusive, then they can take the kids again and then completely 100% in the state's care. And what does that do? It lines their pockets. Y'all, if there are any other parents who are victims to CPS, y'all got to fight. I'm for real. You all have got to stand up because you have rights, your children have rights, and they are violated all the time. Let me tell you.
Well, we're born with those rights. You're absolutely correct.
Well, at my trial, they violated my children's right to privacy. Okay, one of the attorneys asked, I can't say who it was or how I know this person, but they asked somebody.
Well, hang on. So people know, because people are
saying,
attacking me right now because you're not giving out personal information. I want to let you know this woman that's talking right now, she has a case in the appellate courts right now. So she cannot give out any details about the case that happens. I don't agree with it. She don't agree with it. But, hey, this is your democracy, everybody, right? Our democracy, right?
Same here.
Same here. She can't do it.
So they got this person to recite the address in which they're staying and my children are staying. And mind you, this is live on YouTube because where I'm at, it's open court. Right after this person said the address on which they're all staying, they showed a half-naked picture of my child in a bathing suit that was 10 times too big for her. After saying all the kids' first names and our last name, live on YouTube. So y'all got to fight. Y'all got to learn your rights. I'm for real. There's apps out there for your phone. I'm sorry. I'll keep going. Shut me up. Cause
I know you can because you got a lot of information to share, but I've got so many people that I've got to get to here. And I really have to. Stay on the line. I'm not going to hang up on you. Let me go down the line here. I see Mr. Mandelacon's on here, too, so let me go down the line. All right, 747. If you talk stupid, I'm just going to hang up on you. Go ahead, 747. Go ahead. What do you want to share tonight?
Hi. How's it going?
Go ahead.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. Come
on. Yeah, I was wanting to call in and talk mostly about the Trump and the election and mostly all about that.
All right, sure. Go ahead.
Well, okay, so now we're sitting here in this particular predicament where we're in the middle of this voter fraud situation. Okay, now the thing that really drives me nuts is if you look at it and you look at the past and you look at all the statistics and everything that's happened in the past presidential elections in our history, I mean, this is completely unprecedented what's happening to our country right at this very moment. I mean,
I agree.
I feel like we're being completely shoved under the rug as a nation because these gigantic cities that's pretty much just like a Judge Dredd situation, which it should be at this point in time. I'd gladly lived in the cursed earth to get away from them. But the fact of the matter is, and by the way, my name's Brian. But the fact of the matter is that we're sitting here in this society where everything that is controlled by our country is based off of what people in these cities that don't know nothing about anything outside of their own little simple-minded world.
That's true.
That's all they know is what's going on in their little city, and whatever affects them, they think that's the main thing. They don't seem to understand that all of us out here in the real world are the ones that grow their food. We're the ones that create the cars that they drive. We're the ones that build everything that they live in. I mean, they don't get it.
I kind of agree with that.
Asinine.
Actually, the suburb workers are the workers that go to work from 9 to 5 every day that create everything that's out there. Except for China, of course. But I kind of agree with you. I see your point, though.
Yeah, and you've actually been talking with my wife, which is Beth. A lot of what she has to say is exceptionally educational, and anybody who would be listening, it would be wise to open their ears and pay attention to what she has to say. She has been doing this for almost 2 decades, fighting the system and fighting back against the corruption. I have sat here and watched it personally, hand by hand, every day, her on the phone, listening to mothers crying and screaming out for their children and just
So this is great because you're the husband of the wife that's out there in the trenches that's fighting and you're supporting her. And you know what, this is great because you know what, that's what husbands should do. you know, and that's honorable for you to call in and say, hey, I support my wife, or anyone that's going to attack her on this podcast here and say she doesn't know what she's talking about or disagree with her. I've been there. I've witnessed it firsthand. And if you're, you know, what better witness than the husband, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Amen.
I don't see why anybody should be attacked. I mean, if we really look at it, I mean, why attack anyone? Does it help you? Does it help them? Does it help anybody else? I mean, all it does is just make that person feel a little better about themselves to go to sleep that night, so they can sit there and suck on their binky and put on their freaking, you know, Joe Biden sleep cap and be happy as a lark.
Well, it's narcissist. It's a narcissist in the best way, and we're a narcissist society today, where we all want to bet. We all are in this social media keyboard warrior type of thing, and I could sit here in front of my computer and I could swear at you, and guess what? You can't do nothing to me because you don't know who I am. You know, and that's what they do when they call in and attack me, and I say, hey, meet me here at such and such time. I mean, everyone knows my personal life. I go to the gym at 8:30 in the morning every morning. You know, they know where to find me, but they never show up. You know, because they're keyboard warriors. They're trolls. They're not going to do nothing.
Well,
but it's a narcissist type of
most
thing.
of these people that want to have an opinion on this, they have no clue because they haven't had it happen to them. They fall in the category of people that sit there and say, well, you know, like they were saying, you know, CPS had to show up to your house for a reason. Well, yeah, they did show up to your house for a reason. It's because they want to line their pocket.
Yeah. And that's true. And expound upon that before I get to the next caller. When CPS is called and then they investigate the case and they say they take the kids, let's get some numbers out there. What are they compensated with? You know, what are they given for this?
I know
can't
best
do every
numbers.
state.
I believe it's like $54,000 per child. Initially.
Wow.
Every state's different. Some places it's $6,800.
Well, yeah, and Raya is right. There's compensation, but see, here's what they do. They get on there and they get a compensation. Now, if they can screw your kids up in foster care, they can get more money by implementing them as special needs because then they need therapy and extra care and they become hard to place children. So, see, the dollar signs are never stuck. It all depends on the family dynamics. It all depends on a lot of things. But nonetheless, the federal incentive is there. It was done by the Democrats, Hillary Clinton, Adoption Safe Families Act, for anybody who wants to investigate it. And that's essentially why we find ourselves where we find ourselves today. See, they don't want to do kinship placement in a lot of situations. But what they are doing is against federal law. Kinship placement needs to be honored before all other placement to lessen the trauma of the children and the higher degree of reunification that they look to families as to be a support system and do. Here, they don't do that. They want to take the kids, they want to get them into foster care because to do anything but, they won't get the federal dollars. What they fail to understand is per federal law, if it can be proven that a kinship placement is there and readily available and they don't take it, they can lose their federal funding. And that's why a lot of these cases, they go in, they shut them down, the transparency's not there. They call for all this because there's minors involved. It needs to be confidential. And these are administrative courts that everybody's going in front of that are so locked down that the fraud is abounding. This is a very orchestrated situation that's been going on for well over the last 20 years.
Well, the fact, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely correct. And the fact of the matter is voices are dwindled, you know, and the fact of the matter is because we have a de facto system here. I mean, Mendelicon, you're next. I'm going to get you on here. The thing of it is that, you know, it's like, for instance, you know, U.S. District Court, Timothy Savage, you know, something he repeated several times during a hearing. You know, however the judge rules, the case is unlikely to have a significant effect. Only 93 ballots are at issue. A county election official said a lawsuit with provable facts showing a statutory or constitutional violation is just a tweet with a filing fee, said Justin Levitt, a professor of Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, obviously, you know, a liberal, you know, place. But what I'm trying to say is that how could you say something like that? How could you be a judge and say something like that? You know, I mean, are you a scholar of law? Are you a student of law? Are you someone that stands up for what is right? You know, and standing against the principles of evil. You know, the evil.
Well, and
out
there's
there
a lot of
judges
out there that they are not following the rule of law. They are in violation of their oath of duties. They are not
they violate the oath of office. You're absolutely
and
correct.
being.
Yeah.
They're not being impartial.
Yeah.
I also want to bring something in.
Hang on. I want to bring up
I'm going to go ahead and hang up.
Yes, that
to
do help the
out,
family.
I'm going to go ahead and hang up, and I'll go join my wife on her call.
There you go. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in. That was great what you had to say, supporting your wife right there. And Mandelicon, this is your type of show, actually, mostly women on here tonight.
I will be on my wife's call as well.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Mandelicon, go ahead. You got the next floor queue. Go ahead. I'm opening up your phone line. I know I got about a dozen or so others I got to get to, so go ahead.
All right, Joe. You know, something huge, enormous, and big is happening. I mean, as much as you've been delusional schizophrenic for 3 nights in a row, I told people that you was a double agent, and now you're doing your investigation on everything. You know how you do. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You up and down like a jack in the box or a seesaw or a Peter Carter. You are really, really something, man. 3 nights in a row. Joe Gibson. There's something going on. He's taking all this information in, y'all. So be careful of what you wish for, because you just might get it. You know, I find that it's very extraordinary that you have your guy on there, and every time somebody get personal, we get off topic of the bigger picture. We go back to the micro.
Yeah, true.
But you brought that to yourself because you brought your case, your CPS case, your aid to dependent children, your child protective services, you know, your what they call it, the divide and fuck up the family court. But I want to throw in foster care. I want to throw in orphanages and the donor programs. See, I've been talking about this for years, and y'all finally, because of personal things happening to y'all, now all of a sudden, well, they're doing this, they're doing that. I told you, the whole jurisprudence is guilty of perjury, sedition, insubordination, and treason, because they have a monopoly Ponzi scheme, and they use the mother and the father who are trying to compete for the child when one of the mother and father, you know, they don't fit the criteria. You know, one might be a drunk, one might be on cocaine, one might be missing in action, the other one might be a prostitute. And y'all go in there and say, well, look, well, she's da-da-da-da-da. And the child looks at y'all and says, well, these crazy motherfuckers. These motherfuckers is acting up, man. But the judge and the age-dependent children, well, I'm just a caseworker for the children. All I care about is the children. When they said that shit to me, I said, you're a damn lie. That's true. You know damn well you don't care nothing about me or my children. You just care who can be a ward of the state where y'all get y'all cut. So we got to cut them out of this, man. I'm telling y'all, we got to get together and abolish these cretins, because they don't have no courts. They have administrative procedure to divide and fuck up the family. When you have a real family court, what you need to have is people come in with the whole case and the community listen, and whatever we do, we have to keep the mother and father of the child with resources and life-giving institutions to keep them intact, unified, right? So anytime you come in and then somebody say, well, we're going to take him from her and give it to you and take you from him and give him, they're wrong. They're wrong. So we got a real messed up situation there. We got to deal with that on the bigger picture. But on this election process, now y'all know we've been talking about this too as well for years about we have a government that's out of control, period. So what y'all been looking at, this good guy versus the bad guy, you know, the boogeyman versus the bad guy, or Satan versus the devil. If you like this one, that's a good one. If you don't like that one, that's a bad one. We're in serious, serious trouble for this reason. This is not the first time that we've had elections that's been flubbered or whatever. You remember Gore and Bush, and when the Democrats said, well, y'all cheating and such, they didn't go out and start no shit. They didn't threaten to do nothing. But now y'all got the Boogaloo Boys, got the Angry Viking. You got the Stand Down and Stand By crew, right? The opposite of the Not Fucking Around coalition. And who is that Stand Down and Stand By crew? They're getting ready to do some shit, y'all. And you know if the guy that they want to be there, because they done told you. They done put it all in the media and everything. So look, well, if Captain Kangaroo ain't going back in, we're going to create a mess in this country. And you know it's going to happen. You know it. But my problem is with us, the people. We are still arguing over which one won or which one lost, which is driving a wedge between the community, our families, our loved ones, our workplaces, wherever we go. I mean, well, you're red, you're blue. No, you're wrong, either one of you, because it's all power to the people, no power to the sheep. I keep telling y'all that. Y'all keep acting like you don't know what I mean by that. I mean that divided we stand, together we all fall. We're so divided now. We're more divided now than we was when slavery was here. We're more divided now than slavery. More. Mm-hmm. And that's a terrible, terrible thing when we got the whole world on lockdown, when the whole world's government has hijacked the sovereignty, integrity, and dignity and independence of all governments, even in Africa. Ain't no freedom and justice and independence nowhere. And what we have to do now is come together and abolish this thing, even though everybody ain't going to understand my political astuteness. Everybody's not going to have my common law court exigency and the executive order of class action, which is really the working class people coming together and saying enough is enough. We fired up, we mad as hell, we ain't taking no more. But if we go out into the main streets of America, think we're going to shoot our way to justice, nobody's going to win. Nobody. Nope. And that's where we are. We're closer to that than we are closer to solving the contradiction. So, I'm just saying this is some exciting and dangerous times in which we live. However, we're on course for something spectacular, whether it's good or bad. But if we don't get out of our seat, on our feet, in the streets, and unify immediately, we know it's going to be terrible because it's going to reach the rest of the people.
Well, how many times do they Mandela Khan? The people out there that preach peace and justice or whatnot. I played that intro plenty of times right now. I mean, where they Gandhi, Martin Luther King, the people out there preaching peace, bang, they're dead. They're gone. We get rid of the guys out there preaching the peace and unify the people. Why is that? Because evil flourishes when good men do nothing. And all the good men out there are sitting on the fence, and that's what we're trying to do here on this podcast.
They become part of the problem.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is that peace for the people has to be a PIECE of ass of injustice and evil. There can be no justice without peace, but there can be no peace without justice. So even though the system killed Martin Luther King, who was a peaceful man, it also killed Malcolm X. So the system don't give a damn whether you want peace or you want to be a not fucking around coalition. The system is ready to wipe us all the fuck out. So
well, that was the end goal. That's the end goal, Mandela Khan. That is. Let me get to another caller, Mandela Khan. I got a bunch of them here. I'll leave your line open, but 909. Go ahead, and then I'll do closing thoughts of the podcast. Go ahead, 909.
Yeah, man. How you doing? This is Cash calling from California. Just wanted to let you guys know that Trump is going to win. But the sad thing is that violence is going to happen, buildings on fire, rioting, and it's just sad, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you're out in California.
So
obviously,
sad.
You're in a liberal state there, California. We know you're falling into the ocean every day. But why do you say violence is going to happen?
Well, because the Democrats, the liberals, are not going to take what the courts are going to say, and they're going to take their frustration out, and Trump is going to win. And this whole time, he let it happen because they were doing a sting operation to get these criminals. That's why they're taking them to court.
Well, they have been, yes. They've been rounding up these criminals for a long time. The indictments have been down and handed down. Yeah, we know about that. A lot of people think we're crazy talking about that. But 909, I appreciate the call. I got to get the closing thoughts to the podcast here, so everyone's going to get closing thoughts here. So let me mute your call there. I agree with you. Trump's going to win, and then there's going to be riots in the streets, and that's probably what the game plan is. Can we educate enough people to wake up and stop that before it happens? Because Trump is our president. He did win the election, and he is a constitutional type of guy. Let him finish. Let him have another 4 years to restore our republic or restore the people, all the people, so this way here there's no more wars. Look, Trump did not create any wars the whole time he was in office. He actually brought back the military and said, hey, we ain't got no business over there attacking you. We ain't got no business bombing you. No more war. So Trump was that type of guy. So Closing thoughts to tonight's podcast. Go ahead. Give a couple minutes to everybody. Go ahead. 479. I think that's Beth first. Go ahead. Actually, no. I got to give you the last one because you're the guest tonight. So, Brianna, go ahead. You're first.
Yes. I definitely, I love hearing from you, Mandela Con, because you make things so interesting. But I definitely do agree. More than likely, either way it does go, there probably will be right. I hope it doesn't come to that, and I hope we can, definitely all come together as one. Stop fighting amongst each other, because power to the people, no power to the sheeple, as Mandela Con said. That I do understand. So I will go ahead and yield to the next person.
All right. Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you. I'll just mute you just so you can yell in the background at the next caller. I don't know. But 702, go ahead. You're next. Go ahead. Everyone gets a chance here at the end. That's what I always do. Everyone gets a chance that called in tonight. Go ahead, 702.
I was just going to say, I am sorry for bringing up CPS again, but, at this call, I really want to help parents. I want to help mothers. I want to help children who have aged out of the system, children who were, given back to their parents but now have trauma. I want to help the dads. I want to help the moms, And I'm with you, Joe. I don't care what walk of life somebody has. I don't care what their background is. I don't care what you did in your past. I love people, and I want to help people. And as angry as these topics, like, for example, CPS, as controversial as it is, as upsetting as it is, my goal is to help protect the families and the sanctity thereof, because that's important. But what's also important in this day and age is that we remember who we are. We remember that we are the people. We remember what kind of people we are when we actually do stand united with each other. And, what I was getting from, I don't exactly know how to pronounce his name, but Mandela Khan, when he was talking about how, united we stand and divided we fall, that's exactly true. And another way to look at it, when you sit there and you see things happening and you do nothing about it and shit gets worse, think about it this way: idle hands are the devil's playground, and it's so important that we stand together and we defend each other, without violence, without calling names or, without anger, but we defend each other. Everybody has rights. Everybody, is a human being. Everyone has a different walk of life. I want our country to be united like it was supposed to. Maybe I'm a bleeding heart. I don't know. But I love people very much, and I just wanted everybody to know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And, look, maybe we need to, instead of pushing people together, maybe do a little separation, separate the people and take a deep breath and say, hey, we are different. We're not equal,
We're not all the same. Nobody is the same. Everybody is an individual. Every single person is different from the next.
But that's not what they teach though nowadays. We're all one. We're all one. Everyone wins. We all got to.
I don't
we're all
believe
equal.
that at all. I think every single individual has so many valuable traits and talents and everything. Every single person has some valuable things that can help this nation. I mean, everybody.
That's right.
Not one person is more talented than another.
All right, I got to give everyone their closing. I got to give everyone their closing thoughts here to the podcast. I got to give everybody. I know you got a lot to say and a lot of information to share. I mean, that's why I love having you on. But let me see. All right, I'm going to give this guy. Let me go ahead. He's still here. Give 210 his closing thoughts to the show. Go ahead. Come on. Then Mandela Con, you're next.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with your previous caller, Joe. Everyone deserves some redemption. Everyone gets their own choice, especially women. They can choose however they see fit. And for all your callers out there dealing with addiction, particularly drugs and alcohol, I wish them all the best. That's a hell of a struggle.
All right, thank you. That was wise words there. Very good. Very good. Thank you. So, but very wise words. Hey, you can't beat that. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. That's the one of terms. All my children, We are at the edge of night. And
forgot General Hospital.
We all in the General Hospital mentally ill. And the fact is that we have to choose a new way of life and to have a change of heart. We got to do something we never did before. And the way I look at it is this: divided we stand, together we all fall. So what's the unified? To put past racism, bias, and prejudice. That's first and foremost. And say this: anyone who comes to the people to separate, take away, and divide, they're evil, no matter what color they are. Anyone that comes on behalf of the people to add and multiply with their cumulative numbers to overturn the system, not overthrow, because you can't overthrow a system with weapons. That's illegal arrangement, and that's causing everybody to be slaughtered. So in the overturning the system, you have to establish what must be in order to abolish what you see. And what we have to do is bring the people directly to power. And you can only do that in superior numbers to put the nation in seizure to where they can't threaten, jail, and kill everybody. But you have to have the exigency and the executive order to do so. That's why I'm able to move and say that everybody in the legislature is guilty of perjury, sedition, insubordination, and treason, and they must go to jail for life, and we are going to arrest your asses. I don't care what color you are. And, they can't touch me. I'm untouchable. They can't touch me. Why? Because I never authorized nobody to Second Amendment and pick up your guns and put them on the run. That's not the way to go, baby. That's not the way to go, people. The way to go now is that we all need each other now. Time is a terrible thing to waste. So the main formula is organizing as many people as you can. As many people as you can. And their mothers announce the date when we're going to march the hordes on the capitals, on the cities, and shut them down right then to get the redress. That's the deal. That's where we got to go. And I'm going to leave that right there because I want that to sink in and let y'all go through the formalities that we got to go through as we go through these Halloween, Hollywood, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and money is evaporating. And we need these people while they arguing, we need y'all to put a stimulus package and give every American citizen at least $1,500 so they can have a little spending money to at least enjoy some of these holler days, HOLLER, at least with their families, because many of us, this will be the last supper. And we don't want everybody to be at each other without having one chance to sit down with your family and your children and your people and say, I love y'all. Love is love. My hands call for love. Even if I have to take the head off of evil.
All right, Mandela Khan, I got to get to the next guy here. All right, Mandela Khan, because I know you'll just keep going on off your last word. But, yeah, that was pretty good there at the end there. But that caller before you there, I know what he's trying to do is dig at me, they do have a choice. You're absolutely right. But when they choose, they have to stick with their choice. It's called a contract, You stick by what you originally chose. So if you promise something, you keep your promise. It's called keeping your word, You don't lie and then backstab them and then use somebody because that's what what that person actually did. So 909. Hey, I said everybody gets a chance here at the end. So 909, go ahead, and then a private caller, and then Beth. Go ahead.
Just as one of my favorite characters from Scarface, Tony Montana said, "All I got in this world is my balls and my word, and I break them for nobody." Thank you.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. You don't break. That's right. Your word. That's right. Hey, that was Tony Montana. What about the women, though? What do they got? So, but anyway, private caller. All right, who's this guy? The private caller. And then Beth. I think you're next, actually. Beth, go ahead. I mean, not Beth. The private caller. No, private caller. No. All right, you must be sleeping. All right, Beth, go ahead. Well, go ahead, man. Go ahead, Beth. I started out with you tonight. Man, it's been a long time since I first talked to you. Wow, hasn't it been a long show tonight? We covered everything, didn't we?
I think we did, and I tend to agree with Mandela Khan on a lot of things, and that's what I was trying to advocate with. The people don't understand their true power, and we do need to stand united because a country divided will fall, and that's a lot of their plan is they want to keep us warring over political affiliation, color, anything that they can possibly get under our skin over because that's the government's MO. They understand that if we as a people come together and show love to one another instead of all this hate and get back to what we once were, that is what they fear the most. is us coming together, and this is the process that our founding fathers gave us, was a legal one. This is the proper way to redress. It's not guns to the street. That is when all else fails situation and there is no other option. But I think that's a lot of the people don't understand their true power. The people don't understand the power under the First Amendment to redress the government. And if all of us get together, that's a way to have our voice heard. You know, yes, we've got to get out there. Yes, we have to take a stand and say, hey, you know, we the people are watching this go down. We don't like it. We have to get vocal. We have to start writing our public officials. We need to start writing letters to anybody we can think of that can possibly come in and let them know, hey, look, we are Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, and you work for us. And you are not indefinitely nailed to that seat that you sit upon. And if you keep doing what you're doing and refuse to do our will, yes, they can be removed. They can be removed by a judicial process that we do have. And it's actually 5 U.S.C. 3331, which is a dereliction of duty. It is a violation of the oath that they took when they swore to defend this country against all enemies. And that's, you know, it's true.
Beth,
we need to come together.
Beth, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right. The oath, keep your oath, you know, defend their oath. So their oath of office was violated. You're absolutely correct.
Well, yeah, and it was treason. It was sedition. It was malfeasance. It's been so many things, and these are high crimes. But we as a nation, that's the best strategy. Come together.
You're absolutely correct.
And
go
after the real enemy. Go after the ones coming for our freedom.
The problem is, Beth, I'm going to play this at the end here, is that we the people are just so dumbed down, and you know what? In the end here, really, you know, our last president, JFK, you know, he talks about this. I mean, you know, so we'll leave with a comedy note. But, Beth, I know you got a lot to say, and I want to have you back on. This was actually a pretty powerful show. We covered a lot of things. We covered, like, so many topics here. But, you know, I really like to stay focused on one and fix it. But I always say end the Fed. Federal Reserve, chop the head of the snake. Right
and
there,
you're right.
and then
you're
you
right.
can handle, you know, focus. Like Aaron Russo said this. Aaron Russo was a guy that I watched a lot of his documentaries, and the thing of it is, he always used to say, we got to focus like a laser beam on what controls us every single day. What are we out there going for? What are we driving in our metal coffins every single day up and down the roads at 9 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock at night? Our metal coffins to go to work, just over broke our job, you know, just over broke. And the thing of it is, because they got us all like slaves to obey the system. And the thing of it is, the system itself, the wheels are right now slipping. But I'll play this here. It's about 2 minutes long, and then we'll wrap up the show, all right?
All righty.
All you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. You know anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs.
They're all the same. I'll show you Politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control.
I had this feeling, man, because you know there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. It's not I'm not a conspiracy nut. It's provable. Handful, very small elite run and own these corporations, which include the mainstream media. I had this feeling who's ever elected president, like Clinton was, no matter what your promises you promise on the campaign trail, blah, 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 when you win, you go into this smoky room with the 12 industrialist, capitalist scumfucks who got you in there, and you're in this smoky room, and this little film screen comes down, and a big guy in a cigar roll the film. And it's a shot of the Kennedy assassination from an angle you've never seen before. It looks suspiciously off the grassy knoll. And then the screen goes up and the lights come up and they go to the new president. Any questions? Just what my agenda is. First we bomb Baghdad. You got it.
All right, everybody, that's the sad truth. That's what it's all about. So, people do run us, and every single day we're part of the system. Break away from the system. Break away from it. Be apart from it, and don't participate in it. And I think a lot of people said that, and I think a lot of people are waking up to it. But we had a great podcast here tonight. Understanding the times we live today. Hopefully we can get everybody back on the next show. That was a good conversation we had tonight. Thank you. God bless. Take care.
Thank you, Joe.